Shabbat service with a song about angels, because it's hard to see the angels in the world right now. They seem to be hidden, but they're not hidden. They're there. It's just that there's a lot of smoke and a lot of clouds that are hiding them. So let's sing in our appreciation of them, our angel song, and then we're going to sing Shalom Aleichem, which also is a song welcoming angels into the world, or welcoming our appreciation of angels in the world.
B'Shem Adonai Elohei Yisrael Yimini Michael V'Smoli Gabriel
Was God's strength.
Bilfanai Uriel
God's light.
Umeachare Raphael Ve'al Roshi Shechinatel In the name of Adonai, the God of Israel. On my right is Michael, on my left is Gabriel. In front of me is Uriel, and behind me Raphael.
That was God's healing power.
And all around, surrounding me, Shechinatel. Ve'al Roshi, Shechinatel.
Shechinat is our appreciation of that God is both transcendent and God is immanent. So it's God's immanence, the Shekhinah, God's presence in the world, not only in the heavens, but also in the world and in everything in the world. Well, we're going to sing our song of welcoming the angels.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boechem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon, Bimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon, Bimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
It was our moment to bring a special light into the world. Who knows what this light might do to enlighten the world and make it brighter as we light the Shabbat candles.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la la la. lai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, b'mitzvotav. Vetzivanu lehadlik ner, Vetzivanu lehadlik ner, Vetzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
This is a time where we usually do the priestly blessing, but I want to try something different tonight. I want to offer all the kahal, everybody who's present in the room. Maybe, Andy, you can make it so that we see everybody on the screen.
Absolutely. There we go.
And I wanted to invite everybody to think of what blessing they think the world needs and what they need this week. And then we'll evoke it. So think for a minute and then raise your hand. If you have a blessing, you don't have to have one, but if you do have one, you can raise your hand. Karen.
Peace.
Amen.
May God bless this world, keep it whole, and bring peace, finally peace to the world where the world isn't in conflict at all times.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Someone else? Bhavani.
Kindness.
Kindness. May God bless this world. May God's loving kindness be mirrored by all those who are in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim, as we all are. May we all carry God's hands into the world and bring kindness everywhere we go.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Josh.
Compassion.
Holy One, a blessing, loving energy of the universe. As we speak of your many characteristics, we speak of rachamim, compassion, and may you evoke and bring forth all the compassion that dwells in our hearts, that's waiting to be expressed into the world. Anybody? Oh, Diane. Thank you.
Love.
Love. Holy One, a blessing, loving energy of the universe. May we all ride the waves of your love as it's coursed through the world, inviting us all to join each other in a way that's significant, in a way that's meaningful, in a way that's enduring. And that way is through loving relationships.
Ken Yehi Ratzon. Rabbi, from YouTube, we have health, rest. That's from Rabbi Shana. And from Charlotte, we have peace, caring, kindness, and safety for everyone.
Okay. Holy One, a blessing, loving energy of the universe. May you bring refuah shlema, complete healing, which is healing of body and spirit, to all those who need it in the world and to all those who are suffering either emotionally, spiritually, or physically. May they come to wholeness so they can bring their whole self into the world. That's what makes the world a great place, when we all can bring our best selves into the world, unaffected by wounds and illness.
כן יהי רצון.
And may we all have peace, happiness, goodness. And may we all see the connections that we all have from San Francisco to Pasadena, to Studio City, to everywhere else we are in Los Angeles. We're connected, and we're connected by this beautiful spiritual tradition that we all have the opportunity to share this evening.
Let us all say together, כן יהי
Ken Yehi
רצון.
Ratzon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for those great blessings, much better than, well, not much better, but good, really great, really meaningful. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. So we're going to sing Psalm 29 tonight. The reason I chose this psalm is because, as Karen said with her first blessing, we kind of need peace. And the last line in this psalm is asking God to bless us with peace.
הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד הרים, אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון. וירקידם כמו עגל, לבנון וסיריון, לבנון וסיריון כמו בן רמים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר כאש, כל אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו, ובהיכלו כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למבול ישב וישב, אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום.
God blesses his people with peace. So for those, Andy, we have a very interesting screen we're seeing.
I apologize. I'm sharing the wrong screen there.
Right.
Now you got a taste of the behind the scenes of.
Well, I was thinking about that
There
psalm.
we go.
I was thinking about that psalm, which was really interesting, was that it kept speaking of God's voice, Kol Adonai, the voice of God. And I was wondering how we hear the voice of God. And then I listened to you sing that psalm, and I knew how we hear the voice of God. Thank you so much, Cantorial, for being the voice of God sometimes and oft times in this room.
Bless you. Thank you,
Bless
Rabbi.
Now we're going to move on to the highlight of the Kabbalat Shabbat service, Lecha Dodi, where we formally acknowledge that God is immanent in the world in the guise of the Shekhinah. We stand and look at the door at the end of this beautiful mystical piece and welcome our appreciation of God's immanence. It's not like it just arrives on Shabbat. It's always here. But our eyes open to it on Shabbat. Our eyes are more open to it on Shabbat.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5, התעוררי, כי באורך ומאורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני אלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. We rise if we can to greet the Sabbath bride with verse 9. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Now we're going to rise in a minute and see the Baruch Hu. I'm enjoying this Siddur, which was created by my teacher, Marcia Prager. And it has so many beautiful readings in it. So I'm going to read the Kavanah for the Baruch Hu. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. And our blessings give us strength, make our visions clear, and our blessings give us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Please stand for the Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד. המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד.
Now, a prayer for the evening. I'm going to use this other prayer book which also has a beautiful take on this prayer by Rabbi Lynn Gottlieb. Out of deep center, night passes through gates open, seasons change, stars swirl on their eternal pathways through the light. Light to dark, dark to light, spins the glorious heavenly array. This too is the name of Yud-He Vav-He, living and eternal until the end of time. A fountain of blessings are you, endless one, who blends the light of the evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
Amen.
We proceed with our prayer, acknowledging that the world is one, and that the world is connected, and that we're all deeply connected with each other and connected with the source of blessing that courses through the world. It's a time to bring all the disparate parts of yourself that seem to separate itself from your core and bring them together as we enter Shabbat.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We all have moments in the liturgy which touch us, are meaningful. We sometimes vary from week to week. But Hashkivenu, this next prayer we're going to sing, is really beautiful, beautiful prayer. It really speaks to our hope that God protects us and that God is there to comfort and take care of the world in its way. And the last words of the prayer are very beautiful and speak to what we need right now. Holy One, a fountain of blessings are you, spreading your sukkah, your booth of peace over us, over Israel, over Jerusalem, and uniting all humanity in peace.
Tonight we're going to use the melody, one of Debbie Friedman's most beautiful melodies. Ushmo tzetenu uvoenu lechaim uleshalom me'ata ve'ad olam me'ata ve'ad olam me'ata ve'ad olam Ashkivenu Adonai
Vashkitenu Adonai,
Eloheinu l'shalom,
Eloheinu l'shalom,
V'hamitenu malkeinu l'chaim, Uferos aleinu, Sukat shelomecha, Me'ata ve'ad olam, 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 Me'ata ve'ad olam.
In a moment, we're going to stand for our silent Amidah, which is the traditional way the Amidah is visited on Friday nights. It's our time to either read the traditional words in the Amidah or to say your own private prayer. You know, the traditional words in the liturgy were created just so you wouldn't have to think of something spontaneously in the moment. But this is our opportunity to really delve deeply into our hearts, see what needs to be said, and experience it between you and the divine, however you understand it. So please stand as we say the Amidah.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Oh עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
Thank you, Cantorial, for opening our hearts and our minds by leading us in these beautiful, beautiful moments of prayer. So this week, in this week's Torah portion, there's a very dramatic moment. There are a lot of dramatic moments. This is one of the most dramatic, I think one of the most dramatic parashahs in the Torah. But the dramatic moment I want to talk about tonight primarily is when Moses descends from the Mount Sinai carrying the 2 tablets that have been inscribed by God's finger. When he arrives at the bottom of Sinai, and where the Israelite nation is gathered, what does he see? He sees that they've made a golden calf and are worshiping it in his absence. So in utter frustration and anger, at least this is one story, he throws down the tablets and shatters them. Now, some of you might remember that later in the narrative, he ascends the Mount Sinai again, and a second set of tablets are created, and he comes down with the second set of tablets. But what's really interesting about this is that both the intact tablets and the shattered pieces of the first tablets were placed in the Ark of the Covenant and traveled with the nation as they coursed across the desert. Now, it's interesting, most of the time, if we drop something and break it, we just throw it away, right? But no, they kept these pieces of tablets, and they kept it in the most sacred place in the camp, inside the Ark of the Covenant. Now, one question you might ask is, why did they keep these shattered pieces? What did it mean to them? Well, one possibility is that it was a way to remind the people of the sin of the golden calf. But I'd like to suggest something different. I think they kept the broken pieces and the intact pieces in the Ark of the Covenant as a reminder that all of us have intact parts and broken parts. It would be nice if nothing ever went wrong in our lives. No muss, no fuss, no sadness, no disappointments, but that's simply not reality. We all have times of troubles, and we all develop wounds as we travel through life. And our challenge is to discern how to live with these troubles and to learn from them and to use these troubles that we have as tools to make the world a better place. That's what I call real healing. The wound does not disappear. It just no longer causes suffering. After I developed my meningioma, which partially paralyzed my left eye, I spent a great deal of time mourning and a great deal of energy grieving over the loss, because there were a lot of things I couldn't do that I love to do, before my eye was paralyzed. I played tennis. There were lots of ball games that I played, which I couldn't play anymore. But as the years went by, I realized that in some ways, in my medical career, having had this happen to me really helped me understand my patient's situation better. And I became a better doctor for it because I really understood how illness affects people, not only physically, but impacts on the rest of their lives. The process of recovery is very complex. When something happens in our life, the first thing we do is just what I did. We get angry, we grieve, we get fearful, and that's really a natural approach to our troubles. But the critical thing is to remember that it takes time to heal. And it takes time to see the big picture of how you can grow and learn from what's happened to you, and even use these life experiences to make the world a better place. Now, it's not that I would have rather, I'm glad that my eye was paralyzed so I could become a better doctor. Nope. I would have rather learned that in a different way, but at least something came of it that helped me make the world a better place. Our difficult moments in life, believe it or not, are our unique gifts. We've been given these gifts by the loving energy of the universe. And these real and metaphorical scars are part of the healing of the world if we can learn from them and learn how to use them to help others. When I read the newspaper each day, I'm appalled, absolutely appalled, by how broken and shattered the world appears right now. There are so many troubling things taking place in the world and in our country that it seems like nothing is going right. And all the places in the world of truth and law are just broken tablets. Let me just call out a few. The present administration's response to immigration has been profoundly flawed. Innocent children have been terrorized and detained away from their parents. American citizens have been shot and killed during moments of protest. Those things are just terrible. And this is not the only thing. Our country has initiated a war. Well, sure, the adversary we picked is a worthy adversary. They've been big trouble in all of the world. But the goals and the outcomes of this intervention is entirely unclear to me. And how sad, we've chosen to join other nations in the world by trying to solve the problems that we have with violence in which innocents die. This is no way to express your power on the world stage, and the United States has chosen to do it this way. The other day, I spoke to my cousins who live in Israel. How sad it was for Belle and I to hear how hopeless they feel. They were born in Israel, and they've seen the ideals of this country completely forgotten and abandoned by the right-wing government that rules it. They see no hope for a better time in Israel. And on top of that, they spent the last few days going in and out of their safe room multiple times a day when missile warnings come over the warning signals. So these are just a few of the most glaring, painful things going on in the world today. I said it takes time to learn what we need to learn from difficult times, but the question remains of how we can support ourselves as we're waiting to learn these lessons. One way we can support ourselves is through spiritual practice. You've taken the first step by coming here tonight. That's a form of spiritual practice. And I urge you during this difficult time to think about engaging more deeply in spiritual practice. Now, being a Jewish renewal rabbi, I have a broad vision of what spiritual practice is. It's not just going to services and praying. There are lots of other ways that people engage in spiritual practice. Bell meditates 2 or 3 times a day. Some people take quiet walks in their neighborhood or work in their garden. For me, I reach out to friends and family I haven't spoken to. And when I walk around, I spend time thinking about how I can be kind and reach out to the strangers I meet on the street and make people I don't know feel like they're important to me, and they are. Every person in the world is important. So I'd like to tell you I have answers to all the world's problems. After all, I'm a rabbi. I should know these things. But I just don't know what the answers are now. But I don't feel helpless. I really don't feel helpless. I'll intervene when I see opportunities to intervene. And I also can be patient because of my spiritual practices. And because I believe in the power of humanity to do the right thing, I have patience to wait. Humanity does find a way to do the right thing. After the Great Depression, our country pulled together and created Social Security and other programs that rebuilt our society that had been decimated by the Depression. After World War II, the Marshall Plan rebuilt Europe and helped them recover from the massive destruction of the bombings of many of their cities. And after the Holocaust, which is the most horrifying event in our civilization, at least the State of Israel was established, and it became a permanent homeland for the Jewish people. I do not know what will happen to heal all of the wounds of the world today. But just as Moses was placed in the cleft of the rock and waited patiently and saw God's glory passing by, I too am waiting in the cleft of the rock. And in this place of waiting, I'm engaging in spiritual practice. And most importantly, I'm reaching out as often as I can with kindness and care, supporting organizations that are working to make the world a better place, and never losing my belief in the inherent goodness of humanity. A fundamental belief in Judaism is that we were all made with a soul that is pure. And those pure souls in all the corners of the earth are waiting to express themselves and do the right thing. Shabbat Shalom. So Rabbi Leonard Cohen, he understood the brokenness of things. He understood them in a slightly different way. He saw them as a way to bring light into the world. I like to see it as he saw them as a way to be enlightened, to realize that your wounds have meaning and your wounds can be used for good things. And now we're going to share with Andy this beautiful Leonard Cohen melody that kind of puts closure on the teaching tonight.
The birds they sang at the break of day. Start again, I heard them say. Don't dwell on what has passed away, or what is yet to be. Now the wars, they will be fought again. The holy dove, she will be caught again. Bought and sold and bought again. The dove is never free. So ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. We asked for signs, and the signs were sent. The birth betrayed, the marriage spent, the widowhood of every government, signs for us all to see. I can't run no more with that lawless crowd, while the killers in high places say their prayers out loud. But they've summoned up a thundercloud, they're going to hear from me. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. You can add up the parts, but you won't have the sum. You can strike up the march on your little broken drum, and every heart to love will come, but like a refugee. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. So ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in.
That's our task as we move forward. We have to keep ringing those bells. And we ring those bells by reaching out to others, by being kind, expressing love, and bringing out the goodness in each of us that needs to be brought into the world. So we're going to do that right now by saying a healing prayer for those who need healing. If you have somebody you would like to mention in the room, please raise your hand and I'll call on you. Karen.
Andy Hyman, Suzanne Joyce, Karen Harris.
Thank you. Josh.
David Halstead, Murray Halstead.
David and Murray Halstead. Anyone else?
Sherry?
Sherry.
Stuart Paul and Deborah Combs.
Stuart Paul and Deborah Combs. Bill. You're muted, Bill.
Sorry. Marjorie Lair, Barry Spiro, Ruthie Markison, Trudy Strobel, Nancy Kummer, Nancy Prowser, Marcia Alper, Rosemary Nogue.
Cantor Andy, do you have anybody?
I do. First, though, I will do from the YouTube stream. Rabbi Shana is thinking of John Strain, Jackie Shelton, and Cheryl Klein. I know Charlotte is thinking of Michelle and Alex Hyman. and everyone who needs prayers for healing. And my sweet mother-in-law is thinking of Michael Goslow, Alex and Michelle Hyman, and Susan Penny. And as always, I'm thinking of my mom, Ellen, and my little sister, Anna.
Sue and Jill.
Chris Buchanian and Jack Hyatt Rosenberg.
And Mike Burns.
Mhm. I want to remember my son, Gideon. Karen.
Holly Barmaper
Holly.
wasn't feeling up to it today.
She's amazing.
She really is.
Okay, why don't we join Andy and use our voices to send healing energy into the world.
Mi sheberach avotenu mekor haberacha lehimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor haberacha ve'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Holy One, a blessing, loving energy of the universe, please bring healing to all those we mentioned in the room today, and also bring healing to all those who have no one to pray for them. Please bring comfort to all those who are suffering during these terrible times of conflict in the world. May the world be whole and your name be whole once again.
Amen.
So I'm gonna take a minute before we do the Aleinu, to read this beautiful little passage by Judy Chicago. I don't know if people have heard it before. It's really beautiful. And then all that has divided us will merge. And then compassion will be wedded to power. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then both men and women will be gentle. And then both women and men will be strong. And then no person will be subject to another's will. Then all will be rich and free and varied. And the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And the greeds of some will give way to the needs of many. I know one person who needs to hear that. And then all will share equally in earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and weak and old. Then all will nourish the young. Then all will cherish life's creatures. Then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again. May it be so, huh?
Keni Hiratzon.
So now we're going to rise for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשינו כגאי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Here's how my teacher, Marcia Prager, ends this prayer. We trust that the day will come when the many gods of divisiveness and distortion, the broken pieces of the world, will be reunited in the one, and true godliness will shine throughout the world. And now is our sacred moment to remember those who have passed away. Does anyone have somebody who needs to be remembered today? Joe.
Lenny Zukin and Abraham Reba.
Lenny Zukin and Abraham Reba. Now the mourner's Kaddish is really a prayer that's really said to comfort the mourner as they're ascending to the heavenly heights. And there are lots to comfort the dead as they're ascending the heavenly heights. So if you feel comfortable with it, please rise and join us as we say the mourner's Kaddish, because there are many people who don't have Kaddish someone to say Kaddish for them. And there are many people who need comfort on their journey to the highest places of heaven. Please repeat with me. Yitkadal, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. V'yalma divra kirute, v'yom lichmalchute. V'chayechon, v'yomechon, v'chaye, v'kol Beit Yisrael. V'agala u'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach, v'yolam li'omei amaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, v'yithalev, v'yithalal, Shmei Dekudashah, Brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran v'yama v'imru, amen. Yehesh Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, v'chaye aleinu v'yol kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imamav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yol kol Yisrael, v'ol kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. Now's the time where we invite our fearless and wonderful leader, Karen Goodman, to bless us with her words of wisdom and with any announcements that need to be made.
Yes, more announcements than words of wisdom, I
Oh,
think.
there are always words of wisdom.
So our next service will be on Saturday, March 21st, and that will be at the church. And we will be meeting in not the sanctuary, but in that room at the front of the building, the World Room, it's called. It says the World Room up on top of the room. It's one of those classrooms.
Okay, we've met there before.
Yes, we have. It's nice and cozy.
Nice.
I think I will leave it at that.
Okay. Well, thank you,
Thank you, Karen.
both Cantor Andy and I and all the rest of the group. Thank you for everything you do to keep this beautiful organization moving forward, running smoothly, and ironing out all the little places that need to be ironed out, and really making it the wonderful community that we're all blessed to have. So thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
So we thought we would just end with a simple call for Shabbat Shalom, simply call for a Shabbat of peace, but maybe the Shabbat of peace can be every day, not just Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
Thank
Shabbat
you,
Shalom.
everybody who's been here for tonight, sending your blessings and sending your hopes for peace into the world. I know there are many places in the world, and particularly in the state of Israel, where people are praying for peace, for a peaceful solution to this terrible situation, so that they no longer live in fear of their neighbors and no longer need safe rooms in their apartments. Their apartments can be just regular apartments. That would be something good if it could happen. So maybe good will come of this, and we can hope for the best possible outcome.
Amen.
Thank you very much for being here. Shabbat Shalom. We'll keep the room open for a little socializing, as we would if we were in a synagogue or church together, so we could just talk for a minute.
And as always, we will wish the folks on YouTube well and a good night and a Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for joining us. This is our Beverly Hillbillies moment, I suppose. And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Brady Bunch.
Okay.
So
So
Sue, I have a question for you. Is there anything specific going on with Polly or?
He is not feeling well. For the past 2 weeks, she said she's been feeling pretty badly, and she